YouTube, Kurt Curtis. In today's video, we're going to be going over WWE Backlash 2024. Overall, this was a really good show, and the main part of that was the crowd. This took place in France, and while I love when WWE does their pay-per-views or PLEs out of country, because the crowds just get so rowdy, they're so into it, because they don't get WWE live shows that often, so when they do, they show up and they're extremely excited to be there, and just to have the privilege to even see WWE in their country, you know, we take that for granted over here. However, the time difference thing kind of throws me off, because a lot of times the show will start really early and I'll be at work, and then I'm like, okay, well, now I have to completely stay off my phone for like 6 hours until I can actually watch it. But this crowd was the craziest wrestling crowd I think I've ever seen. They were chanting throughout like all the matches, like basically nonstop. I guess they were doing this thing where it was like 1, 2, supplement blow. I don't know what they're saying. I probably pronounced that wrong, but I guess I read in some comments on the WWE's YouTube that like people were saying that that's how the French announcers, it's a thing that they do, and it means only two, translates to only two. So basically they're saying 1, 2, only two, and then they immediately go into a chant after that saying only two. So that was just wild. This crowd just made the show, because, you know, we just came off of WrestleMania. A lot of these matches are very predictable. Pretty much no one won any of the matches. Nothing was a surprise to me, and that's fine. Wrestling fans, you know, they're going to be complaining, oh, the show was too predictable. Okay, well then if you have someone lose the title that just won at WrestleMania, they're going to be complaining that they lost the title so quick. So you can never please wrestling fans, but the show was pretty predictable. Because of that, I thought 1 out of the 5 matches, there was only 5 matches on the show, which I'm fine with. I thought 1 out of the 5 matches was going to be like a surprise or something we didn't expect. But none of that really happened. But yeah, this crowd was wild. If you have not seen any clips, just watch something, because this crowd was absolutely insane. The best wrestling crowd I ever saw. And of course, you're going to get people saying, oh, the crowd stole the show, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. This crowd was awesome. That was great. So first up, they started the night off with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. I did take notes, guys, so I'm going to be reading off my notes. I took these while I was watching, since I didn't want to forget anything that I wanted to point out. The match starts with absolute chaos. KO starts stunning security guards. I was cracking up. Nick Aldis comes out and he's like, basically just says, all right, if this is how you guys want to do it, we're just going to turn this into a street fight. So it became like no disqualification match. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens beat the crap out of the Bloodline for a long time. Like, it was just a one-sided match. They were making them look like chumps. Finally, they kind of turn it around and everything. And then we get interference, which I think people were predicting some kind of interference for like a new Bloodline member to appear, and it is what happened, which is sometimes is fine. You know, we expected this to happen, and it did. Tonga Loa ends up coming in, so now we got 3 members of the new Bloodline. We got Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Their names are too similar. This is, I don't know. They could have gone with a different name or something. I don't know. Their names are way too similar. Like, the first name is very similar to the other one's last name. It just, to me, seems a little weird, but I'll get used to it. It'll be okay. He interferes and basically costs Randy and Kevin Owens the match, and Solo and Tama Tonga end up winning. I think we kind of expected that. But yeah, either way, all these matches were great. I was completely entertained throughout all the matches, and a lot of this had to do with the crowd, because a lot of these matches were pretty predictable. So the crowd just made it interesting. You could have put freaking JD McDonough versus Johnny Gargano out there, and it would have sounded like it was a WrestleMania main event. It was that crazy. Next up, we had Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi versus Bayley. Bayley ends up getting the win here. I think a lot of people were predicting that. The only thing they could have, you know, kind of threw a swerve in would make Tiffany win, but I think her time will come. It's just not right away. They don't want to have Bayley lose the belt after 1 month. This was for the WWE Women's Championship. Yeah, once again, I just mentioned here the crowd was just going chants into chants into chants, basically the entire match. This was a good women's match. It was very smooth. These 3 are professionals, so like, match was great. Bayley wins with a roll-up on Naomi. I'm fine with that. You don't want to make Naomi look too weak, you know, just a surprise roll up. But after the match, she kind of hugs Bailey, and they kind of like, all right, sportsmanship. And so I don't think they're going to be feuding going forward. Maybe Tiffany ends up getting the spot. I don't know. But it was a good match overall. Bailey gets the win. Next up, we have Jey Uso versus Damian Priest for the World Championship. I think a lot, maybe not a lot, but I think some people thought like if there was going to be a surprise kind of victory here, it could have been Jey Uso getting the win. Would have sucked for Damian Priest, but he did win with the Money in the Bank cash-in, so maybe they could have him lose it and then, like, you know, win it the right way later down the road, because just Jey Uso has just been taking so many losses, so some people thought maybe he's not going to take another loss here, but he did. Damian Priest does end up winning, but there was some shenanigans here. Oh, also Jey Uso's entrance was absolutely insane. The crowd was going nuts. The guy must have had goosebumps. Like, it was, just check out Jey Uso's entrance for this. It was probably the most lit entrance of the entire night. JD McDonough comes out to help, and like Damian Priest is kind of like yelling at him, and I was cracking up because Damian Priest says, "Use your big ass head." And yeah, Finn Balor comes out later. Priest is getting pinned. Looks like he's about to lose, and JD puts his foot on the rope, so they have to break up the count. And so, you know, JD basically kind of saves Priest. Priest chokeslams Jey off the top rope, gets the win. He did get some help, but he's pretty pissed off that he got the help. He told them he didn't need their help, and they came out and helped anyway, so we got some tension going there. After the match, Finn and JD start stomping Jey Uso, and Priest is not happy about it. He stops them, and he's really pissed off, so we got some storyline brewing there. Damian Priest gets the win. Still your champion. Next up, we had the Kabuki Warriors versus Jade Cargill and Bianca. Now, if everything just goes normal in this match, everyone knows Jade and Bianca win. This was the one match where I thought if they were going to switch it up and have a kind of surprise victory, you could have the Kabuki Warriors win here. And the only reason they would have won is if maybe like Jade and Bianca can't cooperate, something like that. But I think that's going to happen, but now is too soon. Because who's going to beat them for the tag champs? No one's going to beat them, so the only way they're going to lose is eventually down the road. They're going to cost each other the match by, I don't know, their egos get too big and Bianca's afraid or pissed off that Jade's stealing the spotlight, something like that. Those two are going to have a match in the future, but for now, they did get the win, and they are your new women's tag team champions. Who the hell is going to beat them? The match was a lot longer than I expected. This match, especially with Jade in it, they usually have her matches shorter. Because there was only 5 matches on the card, every match got room to breathe. I don't feel like any were like too long, but they got their time, and that's what's cool when they only have like 5 matches on the card. So that's what surprised me. The match was way longer than I expected. Good match, entertaining match. All the matches were entertaining on this show, and a lot of it had to do with the crowd. The crowd just made it seem like every match was a main event at WrestleMania or something. And then last up, the main event was AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Great match. These guys are both great wrestlers. The match was very entertaining. I don't think anyone thought Cody was going to lose here. There's no point in having Cody take 2 years to finally win the championship just for him to lose a month later. So there was no way. I would have bet, if you could bet on wrestling, I would have bet every penny I owned that Cody's winning this match. It's a lock. Sucks that AJ Styles had to take a loss here, but he's an older veteran. The guy is in crazy shape right now. Like, it's insane. He's freaking jacked. But great match. Cody versus AJ. That hadn't happened before, and it was really cool to see that. And, yeah, Cody cut her off the top rope into Crossroads. Gets the win. Cody Rhodes is still your WWE champion. So I think some people were speculating that something with Uncle Howdy was going to happen here at the end of the show. Like, he's going to come and kind of start taunting Cody or something like that. I kind of thought that was going to happen too, but it didn't, so we'll just have to wait and find out for that. But yeah, that does it for the show, guys. I did like this show. This was really good. Last year Backlash was really good too, because they were in Puerto Rico, and that crowd was the craziest crowd of the year. And this year, again, they did it in France. They need to do Backlash out of country from now on. If it was up to me, I'd have WWE do the majority of their pay-per-views out of country, because the fans go freaking nuts Us here in the US should be ashamed. These guys go all out. We can just go to WWE shows, you know, kind of whenever you want. When they come to town, they come back to town. Like, it's nothing that special, you know. So like, yeah, I'm all for them doing the PLEs out of country. Appreciate you guys watching. I did go to a card show. I'm gonna have my live card show video coming out in 2 days here on Wednesday. I also have wrestling card pickups video coming out on Friday. On Friday, I'm going to another card show, a non-sports card show. The show is really good, and I'll have that video out the following week. So lots of cool stuff coming here on the channel, guys. Stay tuned. As always, till next time. I'm so far away.